Good morning, this is Kenton for DreamsCloud. Today we have in our virtual studio with us Nicoline Douwes Isema. Good morning, Nicoline.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. Nicoline is author of a remarkable book, What Did You Dream Last Night? And Nicoline, I'll have you pronounce the title correctly for me.
In Dutch it is Wat heb jij gedroomd vannacht? And the undertitle is The Power of Thinking in Your Sleep, which basically I think is what the book is about.
It's a unique book. The parts of it that you did send me under translation, and it is undergoing a translation right now.
It is.
I liked your message, and I'll kick this off here a little bit. I liked it because your message is that dreams aren't this big, complex, incredible, deep, science that takes, years and years to understand, as opposed to it's a daily process. It's something that you integrate in with your walking, your eating, your entire life. Do you want to pick that up and expand on it?
You sum it right up. I really, truly believe that meditation doesn't stop at night. I truly believe that consciousness is a layered thing, and that our rational consciousness is one part of thinking, but a minor part. Basically, I've always thought that, but the fun part of this century is that now tons of university research is basically telling us, look, thinking happens on so many levels, and one of the most awesome levels is at night or in a daydream or in any kind of dream. So pay attention to it and try to integrate your basically non-rational thinking into your rational daily life so that you can use your brain as a whole and not just part of it. I love that message. I want to spread that wherever I go.
In reading through your notes, let's see, you have some terminology to try to take the dreams and this integration into life. You take it out of the complex dimension. You had some great key words. Can you give me a couple of those things that you're working on in terms of trying to simplify, make people so that they can access this without all the words from that perhaps the science assigned to it, as opposed to just the day-to-day work with it?
Well, stepping back from that, I think every generation has their own language, and when I read older texts from basically a century ago or longer ago about dreams, you read that people like you and me are trying to translate what research finds into how can I use that in everyday life. And what I tried to do with this book for the Dutch market, but maybe other people like it too, is to translate all the knowledge that we have in universities and amongst dream workers into everyday street lingo. I don't mean to make it too popular, and I don't mean to simplify it, but I mean that I try to find the importance of finding the right words to explain it as you would on the kitchen table to a friend. And I try to do that primarily because in the last century, dreams have been focused on in a psychology frame of mind. That makes sense because 100 years ago it was psychologists who first recognized the value of working with dreams. But I think meditation is a lot more than just thinking about yourself. I think a lot more comes into it. The last 20 years, creative thinking and creative dreaming becomes a huge thing. I just got today Scientific American Mind magazine with a feature, I have it here, a feature about thinking in your sleep, the mind at night. Great ideas come from your mind. That's the second thing. But still, I think meditation is more than just psychology or getting ideas. So what I try to do is explain to people in just, everyday words, you're thinking in your sleep. This is how I can help you to translate that nightly thinking to rational daily thinking, because you're thinking on different levels here. Of course you need to integrate them. Of course you need kind of a bridge to translate your nightly thinking, which is mainly in metaphors, to your daily rational thinking, which is mainly in words and concepts and ideas. So that's what I'm trying to do. I got a great reporter. Her name is Nicoline Douwes Isema. She is She does interviews, and she's a journalist for many magazines. And I asked her, please help me to not explain it like I'm a psychologist, but to explain it as you would to anybody you would meet. I think we did a good job.
So, in your work, you obviously you take this, you apply it with your clients, and do you see it being successful? Do you see a result of this integration?
Well, I think we all do. Once you start to talk about dreams, I think there's a great benefit. First and foremost, I believe that I was trained as a kid to talk about dreams, and I believe that that training helped me to connect to my non-rational thinking better. What I notice with my clients is that most people are looking these days for a way to connect with their, let's say, inner self, to connect with other ways of thinking in themselves, other ways of being than just making rational lists or plans for your life. People want to integrate their feeling, integrate their inner world, and I think dreams are primarily one of the things that can help with that. But I also notice that talking about dreams, I don't know, gets the mind more integrated in a way, because you make a little bridge between left brain and right brain, between front brain and the back of the brain, basically. And I feel that clients that I work with get better ideas faster once they start to notice their daydreaming and to notice their nightly dreaming.
You know, since our first conversation, the kind of the setup for this interview, I've tested some of your notions here with my grandchildren, and and I just exercised with them this notion of, you know, what did you dream last night? And it's really fascinating that it's if you take it out of that complexity and you bring it into day to day, it's a simple thing, and yet it makes people immediately open up.
It does. I completely agree with you. I like so much that you did that. Because the thing is, my parents always asked me what I dreamt. And that made me very easy to open up. And the one thing they never ever did was try to rationally explain my dreams. They always did one thing that I learned from them, and that is to take my words and make me explain things. Because they felt, as I do, that if you ask people to explain something to you and just tell you how it was in the dream, how it felt, what happened, why did this happen, why did you choose left and not right, and then what happened, then I am basically wording what I was feeling. I learned how to put words to larger emotional concepts that I might not be able to even explain or feel as a child, but just being able to put words to the metaphors makes it easier for me to think about it and step back a little bit. That has been so helpful in my life. I cannot tell you how much. So I love that you're doing that with your children. I think everybody should.
I like your message, and I'm looking forward to the translation of your book. We'll put it up on the blog and make sure that when it comes out that we let people know the translations as they come out. I would be willing to bet that it's more than one language over time.
I hope so. Well, you know what? It's not about my book at all. And it's not even about me. I think this is an era and this is an age where people are actually ready and looking for ways to integrate their dreams in their daily life. And I really think that it would be helpful if people start doing that, because, as you say, it's not about being a very complex and mysterious thing. It's not about psychology. Actually, I mean, I love Freud for making people aware of the fact that there is so much as a non-rational mind and calling it an unconscious. But by making this very strict division between this is conscious and that is subconscious or unconscious and therefore kind of mysterious, I think a lot of people that I talk to are actually taken away from their nightly thinking and taken away from their emotional thinking and are kind of scared of it. Most people that I talk with, that I say, look, when you were a kid, it was completely easy for you to influence your dreams. And it was very logical for you to talk about it. Bring it back. Do it again. Don't stop doing that. I feel that gives people a lot more freedom to not be afraid that if you tell your dream, people will think that, oh, you're secretly in love with your colleague or something. To not interpret it and run with it. and not be afraid of their own subconscious anymore.
It's a wonderful
Basically,
message, and I think it's very. You can apply it. That's my favorite part of it. You can read about it, you can think about it, and you can apply it that night.
I love that you did.
And it was a fun experiment. I plan on continuing with it, and hopefully we can continue our conversation in the future, and we can keep this track moving forward.
Yes, I suddenly realized that we have not even talked about what the method really is. But seriously, it's not brain surgery. You can do it.
So why don't we say goodbye on this conversation, and I'll call you back in a few minutes, and we'll talk about the method. Okay. So I'll say goodbye.
Thank you so much.